fight night's just a couple of days away at this point. How you feeling?
Fantastic, man. Just ready to get this weight off and get ready to put on a show on Saturday.
How is the weight cut going?
It's going pretty well, man. I'm a little bit lighter than I was last camp, so it's looking. Hopefully, it'll be a lot easier too.
Is that something you've noticed as your career is developing? It gets easier every time.
Sometimes it's a lot easier than it was back in the day, just because I was kind of roughing it. But since I've been working with some professionals, it's been a little bit easier. But I'm a pretty thick guy. I carry a lot of muscle, so I carry a lot of water. So that's just the real hard part, is just cutting out the water at the end.
Just as like a developing fighter, as you learn more, is it kind of crazy how you used to rough it and then the more tricks you learn, you're like, oh my, why wasn't I doing this before?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like now when you look back in the past, you're like, how the hell did I used to get it done? But when you're younger, you're able to do a little bit more. The older you get, you kind of have to get a little bit more methodical with it.
What's the stupidest weight cutting thing you ever did?
Oh man, I remember back in the amateur days when I was cutting weight like 3 weeks before my fight. I already had like the sauna suit on, and each workout you trying to sweat out all the pounds. You'd be surprised. I train with a lot of boxers, and they still do that to this day. But they don't know any better. They're stuck in their ways.
You're not giving them any tips, helping them out a little bit?
Hey man, these are world champions. A lot of them don't want to hear what you got to say as the MMA guy.
That's true. Actually, let's talk about that for a second. I've always found that interesting. When MMA guys train with boxers, do you notice there's a little bit of like disrespect from the boxers, even though, let's be fair, the winner of the fight's going to win, right?
The way I try to be as humble as possible, because they've been doing it. Most of them have been doing it since they were kids. And because of the accolades they've gathered like throughout the years, there's no really amateur system for MMA. They've gone through like Golden Gloves and all this stuff. Some of these are like Olympic alternates or like Olympic trials, like people that actually compete in the Olympics. So there's a little bit more respect there coming from my side. And of course, I understand how the real fight will play out. But you're there to gain the knowledge from them. They're not really gaining much knowledge from you. So you just gotta take what they give you.
Do you notice a difference between training with MMA guys and boxers? Because I feel like I've been in boxing gyms where it's like dog eat dog, and
Exactly.
I've been in MMA gyms where it's a bit of a team.
Yeah, that's especially like around like where I'm from. It's there's a lot of knuckleheads in boxing. But there's a lot of good guys in there too. MMA has a little bit more traditional like martial arts involved in it, so you're gonna see a little bit more like honorable respect type stuff. Where the boxing is just like you said, it's a dog eat dog world.
We spoke yesterday at length about kind of your goals coming out of this fight, how you're hoping to get your family some U.S. visas and everything. Obviously, these guys weren't here, other outlets and stuff. You want to just kind of express, everything you said yesterday about trying to get your family over here.
Yeah, and I appreciate the video too. I saw the video upstairs, and it was just honestly, I was saying like I wanted to get the word out there more because I've been trying to get a lot of my brothers and sisters over here, and it's been a little bit hard for me to like get a visa for them, And I was hoping like with this kind of platform, there might be somebody out there that could reach back to me that would have a little bit more information than I do that could actually help me out with that stuff. I'm sure there might be something that I could pull with the UFC, being a professional athlete. There might be something I could do, even if it's just a visitation visa for now. Some of them have never left their villages, or some of them have never left Lagos, is like the biggest city that they've known. So it'd be nice for them to see a little bit of America. I send money back as much as I can, but nothing would be if they were actually able to come over here and work for themselves.
And just to clarify, what is the issue? They just can't get travel visas?
Yeah, they can't get visitation visas. It's been a lot harder for Nigerians to get it, especially because they think they're just going to come here and stay and not be able to come back, But the country's kind of like, the government's not doing enough to help the people, So if they could come over here and work for themselves, man, it would change their lives drastically, even if it's just visiting. Like my mom always says her biggest regret was not taking all her kids to the embassy when she went to get the visa for me and my little brother. But she was playing a numbers game, you got to maximize your opportunity. So she only brought me and my little brother, and then the rest of them been stuck there forever.
That must have been a crazy decision for her to make.
Yeah, definitely. She just picked the two youngest, and like for a long time we were stuck over here because we didn't have the right documents. It took me until like after high school before I became a legal immigrant, before I became a citizen. So before I became a permanent resident. And so like she went almost 12, 13 years without seeing her kids, So now we go back almost every year. Like we try to go back every couple months just to see them, just to keep in touch. And like I said, I send money, but that's not a permanent solution. You know, that's like a temporary thing.
Without getting too political, do you worry about the political climate and the situation in America making it harder and harder for them to get over here?
You know what's funny? That kind of that was kind of something I thought about, but it helped us out a little bit growing up because people around here was always looking for Mexicans, like over in the UK. Hey man, it's the truth. It's the truth. Over like in the UK and the England and over there, I know it's a little bit harder for Africans that are immigrating over there because those are the people that they see right away. Over here, when people think about illegal immigrants and immigrants coming over here, they're always looking at brown people. They're looking at Mexicans, you know. So it helps us slide through a little bit, you know. All I gotta do is have a mohawk and pick my hair out, and people would think I'm a regular black guy.
And again, not to get too political, because I can already see the comment section. Would you rather the climate here is a bit different? Because even if they're looking for different sort of immigrants, it's still not the most ideal time.
Yeah, and it's a complicated situation, you know. It's like I understand people are like you can't leave your door open for everybody, but mostly everybody that I know, especially Africans, if you're coming over here, you're not coming over here to ruffle any feathers, you know. You're definitely coming over here to change your life. That's why you see a lot of, you're not going to see a lot of just Nigerian dudes just bumming it out on the street. All of us are here to grind, even if it's like small odd jobs that people aren't willing to take. The immigrants over here will take it, you know, because I remember when I first came here, man, like going to school, like public school, like free lunch. I remember the kids here used to complain about school lunch and stuff like that. I used to look forward to school lunch because that was the only time I was able to have like American food, you know, and like it was super cool. You know, I was getting to go to school for free, getting to eat for free. I was like, man, this is amazing, you know. So a lot of that stuff, when you're born into privilege, it's hard to see. It's hard to see. You don't realize you're privileged. But when you're coming from a little bit of a struggle and you get into that privilege, like, whoa, you see the opportunities that's in it, and then you can see the opportunities above that. That's why we're always going further and beyond most people that are already here.
You're talking about bringing your family here, but sooner or later the UFC might be going to Africa. You've got like Israel Adesanya, Kamaru Usman, Francis Ngannou from Cameroon. What's that like?
Man, that's freaking amazing, man. I've never been more emotional than from watching a fight than when Kamaru actually won. That's the closest I've ever been to crying from watching a fight. I couldn't believe it, man. I saw his mom in the ring, and he had that Nigerian flag up. He got a super African mom. His mom was like every typical African mom you ever seen. Like if you put both of our moms next to each other, they'll be identical. You know, that was the closest I came to crying from watching a fight. I couldn't believe it, man. The Nigerian flag and the UFC championship belt, and then I saw the stuff that Francis is doing in his country, opening up a gym, especially opening it up in the village. You know, it's easy. I don't know how Cameroon really is, but I'm sure it's a little bit more like Nigeria, where you have villages and then cities that are kind of mixed in. For him to do something like that is super cool, man. I'm hoping I get to that status one day, you know, where I could go back and help people in my country too.
And you see, you know, Kamaru obviously with the belt and everything has such a big platform now. You know, everyone's motivation in the sport is to be a champion and everything, but yours is even greater in that sense, right? Because if you do get to that, you know, part of the sport, you'll have such a big platform, and you can kind of say the things that you're saying now.
Exactly, definitely.
Is that really your driving force, or is it competitive?
That's
fighting.
It's competitive too, but that's definitely part of it. Most of all this stuff that I've been saying for a long time. You know, it's like if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, you know, it doesn't really make a sound. So I've been saying this stuff forever. Like I said, like if you go through like my social media and stuff, you'll see like this, like back in the day, I've always been handing out food and stuff and giving out money when I can to my people back home, but it feels a little bit phony when you put up the videos, you know. But my coaches and managers tell me you have to do this stuff if you're looking for help and blah blah blah. It's like keeping it to yourself is not really gonna do much, you know. So from time to time I'll post something with me giving out stuff, but it's like I said, man, when more eyes are on you, you could get more help. That's why I wanted to say the things about the visas to help out. You know, nothing's bigger than like ESPN right now, especially now that I'm in the UFC. I'm sure somebody's going to be out there that wants to reach out and help.
In terms of that African and Nigerian wave of MMA fighters coming in, I mean, we've seen it in the past with the UK, with Canada, with Brazil. Is it kind of a supportive environment between all you guys? Do you talk? Are you cheering each other on?
Look, Let's say me and you just met today. If you walk in this room right now and you told me you was Nigerian, we'll probably be best friends, you know. I don't have to know anything else about you. A lot of us, we share the same kind of struggle. That's why there's always going to be support from Africans, you know. The same way, that's why I kind of like the stuff that happened with Connor, you know, the way his country got behind him, especially in the beginning, you know. Like, the immigrant mentality is all the same. It's all the same, and Nigerians will always show love for each other. If you go to my page, I remember coming up in the, like, the regional circuits, you know, and like my followers on Instagram started like blowing up, and I just see just all these random Nigerians, you know, like some of them don't even know what MMA is, you know, all they just see is another Nigerian that's doing something positive. As long as our name is not attached to scamming, you know, they'll be happy to support it. Most of our parents want us to come over here and be like doctors and engineers, but if you could be positive doing anything else, they'll happily ride with you.
Different tack, so to speak. Having done this once before now, is it a different feeling? Are you a little more confident going in?
It's the same feeling, man. I've always felt like this was where I was going to be. You know, I've been telling people I was going to be in the UFC since I was in middle school. So, like, the first fight and this fight feels basically the same, you know? It's like, it just feels right. The only thing that I got to go out there and do now is just perform and hopefully get a nice little bonus.
We're in Philly, so I've been asking everyone, what's your favorite Rocky movie? And don't be afraid to give some love to Creed either.
Ha 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 ha! I heard, man, the Creed movies they're not bad at all. They're not bad at all.
The Rocky movies.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm trying to say, I don't think I have a favorite Rocky movie. I have favorite parts of Rocky movies. I know a lot of people didn't like the Rocky with his son, the one where his son's grown up, but that speech is like super inspirational. You know, the one when he's talking to his son about him not being a loser and stuff like that. I listen to that speech a lot, you know. So I guess I'll pick that one between that or the first one, obviously. But that's cliche, so I'll go with I'll go with the one with his son.